Welcome to the current state of sports. I'm James Kwan. This is a new segment we're gonna do to keep you in the loop, inform you a bit, just so you know what's going on. Let's get right into it. We got some trade rumors, a lot of he said, she said. It's gonna be a short offseason, an action-packed one. Lots gonna happen in the next 60 days, and we already got some pretty big names coming up. First off, we got Russell Westbrook and James Harden, who are reportedly unsure about the future of the team, unsure if they're contenders or not. My only question is, where have they been? We've been unsure about the Rockets for the past half decade. We don't know what they are, we don't know what they're capable of, because they always seem to come up short just a little bit in that big moment. Now, if I'm being brutally honest, I don't know if this whole Harden-Westbrook core is going to work. They're both kind of choking hazards in the playoffs. And on top of that, Daryl Morey wants Harden badly. He went on this whole soliloquy about how James Harden changed my career. James Harden put me into higher places. And I guess really all of that is true. And if nothing else, I think it shows that James Harden probably is going to end his career with the Houston Rockets. As for Westbrook, I don't really know what the market is for this guy right now. I hear that the Knicks and Clippers are really interested in him, but dysfunction kind of seems to follow him wherever he goes. But yeah, overall, I don't think it's the worst idea to blow this Rockets team up. Don't think we forgot, this team almost got bounced by Chris Paul's Thunder in the first round. And speaking of Chris Paul, he might be with the Phoenix Suns in the not so distant future. Apparently the Suns really like him, they want to pair Devin Booker up with the best teammate he's ever had by a very large margin, and honestly, I think it's a great idea. I think this is a great way to show Devin Booker that you care about him being in Phoenix, that you want to keep him, you want to win with him, and hey, maybe you fill the stadium up with more than 5,000 people if you have Chris Paul on the roster. All in all, I think the Suns are going to be very happy to have him, and I think the Thunder are going to be very happy to give up his contract. Speaking of the Thunder, they have a new head coach, Mark Daniel. Sounds French, maybe Canadian. I don't really know much about this guy, but the Thunder are a young developing team, and now they got a young developing head coach. I just hope that he has some kind of solid plan for players like Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who in my opinion are just a couple years out from being an all-star. It was an action-packed NFL week, a lot of surprisingly competitive games, including this Jets-Pats game. Going into this, I was anticipating like a 10-3 final score, but it was low-key kind of a shootout and a very back-and-forth game, entertaining, ended on a game-winning field goal, Cam Newton saving his career for the next 7 days at least. And I don't want to rehash this whole "is Joe Flacco elite" meme, we beat that dead horse, we buried it, it's in the past. But there were a couple of throws that he looked really good on, and I really do think the Jets might win a game with this guy at the helm. Now I know he quite literally threw the game away with that late interception, but I kind of like this team with Joe Flacco because it gives Sam Darnold some mercy. You know you're going to trade him, you know you're going to draft Trevor Lawrence, so why not just maintain his health and save him from the wrath of Adam Gase? And while we're on Gase, he really blew this game. I know that he's given up play calling, and it's not 100% his fault because of that, but you had a lead going into halftime, you had a lead going into halfway through the fourth quarter, and you somehow blew it all. Let's talk about the Dolphins, because it really is two-way time. This guy, talk about a bounce back from a mediocre first game. He seems composed, he seems flexible, he can move around the pocket, use his athleticism. This is the guy that we saw at Alabama that we questioned. Is he a better draft prospect than Trevor Lawrence? That was being talked about, and now we're seeing that kind of come into fruition. Now, it's just one game. I'm not going to get too carried away. I'm sure Ryan Leaf had at least one good game in him, but I think it's a good sign for the Dolphins, who at this point seem like one of the better teams in the AFC. It's weird for me to say it, but honestly, you got the Ravens, you got the Steelers, you got the Chiefs, best teams in the AFC. After that, I don't know how many teams you can say are definitively better than the Dolphins. Now, keeping it in the division, we got the Bills taking down the Seahawks in a very heartwarming game. And after the passing of his grandmother, Josh Allen had the best game of his career. On the other sideline, Russell Willson might be out of the MVP race for the time being. Mahomes is sneakily having a perfect season. And Aaron Rodgers really only has had one bad game against the Bucks, which is pretty negligible in the whole grand scheme of things. What isn't negligible is the Steelers still being undefeated. My Steelers, 8-0, feels great. Now, for all those viewers out there that are going to say, easy schedule, you're paired with the NFC East, first of all, jealousy does not look good on you. Second of all, the Steelers don't make the schedule. The name of the game is beat the team in front of you. Now, that win against the Cowboys is very ugly. We almost lost against what could be called a fourth string quarterback. But I can pretty much guarantee you that your favorite team has a bad loss that shouldn't have happened. So take that as you will. Steve Cohen is the new owner of the Mets, and he's going to turn this whole thing around. Maybe. It's the Mets. I'll believe it when I see it, but I'm happy for him. For one, this guy's got the money bags. Having a rich owner in baseball really goes a long way. And though this is definitely a what can go wrong, will go wrong organization, it seems like they got a solid plan going forward. Now let's talk about Tony. Tony. I mean, the saga continues. The series of unfortunate events. As Stephen A would say it,
He can't seem to do anything right.
now he literally hasn't been in the dugout for like 1 day with this current team, so we're gonna have to wait how this all pans out. Some awards got passed out yesterday, Rookie of the Year, but I want to talk about the Manager of the Year award. More specifically, I want to talk about the AL Manager of the Year award going to Kevin Cash. I'm just gonna say it. Please don't validate his analytics. Do not let the Rays way be the standard going forward. They're the reason for the 3-batter rule. You know that Kevin Cash trusts the math more than he trusts his players. Baseball really lost when he won this. Now to end on a higher note, it's Masters Week. Now in the midst of the players just kind of screwing around, we're blessed with a really cool moment of John Rahm skipping this ball over the pond and landing on the green, going into the cup. Really just shows the kind of feel that these guys have. Now as for the actual tournament, of course we're all looking for Tiger Woods to defend his title. But he's gonna have to fend off people like Bryson DeChambeau that look really good this year, so we're just got to wait and see. Thanks for watching this first episode of the current state of sports. Remember to like, subscribe, do all that good stuff. We really appreciate all the support. Stay safe out there, and we'll see you in the next one.